Good afternoon and welcome. In this moment, as we gather together with our friends and colleagues, old and new, let us pause and imagine what this school year might become. Together, we continue our journey to discover what is true for us and what is true about us. Over the next 9 months, we shall further hone the skills and habits to mold our communities and ourselves into our vision of what is best. So as we celebrate the stepping off point together, we follow a pathway bordered by two powerful questions. Who are we now? And who do we want to become? I feel very grateful to be on this journey with you. Thank you.
Hello everyone. It makes me so happy being back on the Hill with all my amazing peers. It's so special we don't have to wear a face mask or be 6 feet apart from each other. So let me introduce myself. My name is Kai Tsor and I'm from Los Angeles, California. I came to Tilton for the hockey program, but I quickly realized that won't be the only reason why I'm here today. Today makes the start of my 4th year here. Not too long ago, I was in the back of the chapel where you are freshmen. I realized how true it is that Tilton makes you more than a one-dimensional person. I realized you learn so much here and the relationships you make here are so special. You might be feeling nervous being here. Don't be. Embrace it. What we have here is so special. I remember feeling lost. In fact, I think I did over 10 sprints in Noel's lobby my freshman year telling Miss Saunders I think I forgot something. You know what she said? You'll be okay. And she was right. I'm perfectly okay. So you're going to do amazing here. Don't question yourself. Now 3 years later, I'm telling you to have fun, and I'm beaming of joy over here. I want everyone to have this feeling. I am the student body president, and my partner is Jack Balser. We and the rest of student government are here to help make this place the best it can be. Last year, we took big strides. Being my final year, I want to walk out with a bang. I realized after all the meetings that the main message is that the people make the place. So whether you are a freshman or a PG, or anyone in the chapel right now, this message is for you. I want everyone to challenge themselves to be the best version of themselves. You don't need a title to lead. If you see an opportunity for change, lead it. You see someone down, pick them up. Do not be afraid to fail. Fall 7, get up 8, but always get up because everyone is counting on you. You might question yourself and think if it's worth to even try because everyone is staring at you and you might be scared. Don't be. Embrace it. So I have something for that. In the words of Michael Jordan, never say never because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion. Thank you so much for listening, and I cannot wait to spend the rest of the year with everyone here. Thank you.
Good evening, and welcome to the 177th school year. I'm so happy to be with all of you tonight and to be working alongside Kai and Jack and the rest of the student government, the proctors and the ambassadors that lead our campus, and so many of our new students on campus. We have nearly 90 new students joining our community this year, and we are poised to write the next chapter in Tilton's history. As I was thinking about this evening, I wanted to make sure we revisited why we are here and the importance of traditions at Tilton School. Traditions like tonight in Convocation, formal dinners, the Jamie Goldman basketball tournament, the Tilton Open, all of these big and small moments on campus where we laugh, live, and play together are very special, and they make the constellation of our memories of our Tilton experience. We are a school community committed to creating a learning environment that is inclusive, supportive, and kind. Deeply embedded in our mission is a focus on relationships unlocking potential. For generations, students on the Hill share with us that this is a place that they felt loved and appreciated. That doesn't just happen. It takes work. Relationships take work. And we each need to try to feel that connection with one another. Be courageous with each other Include each other in events and those small moments in the dining hall. Introduce yourself to someone that you've never met before, in person rather than just via social media. I love Tilton, and no matter what your story is, embrace your next chapter here as a student. I encourage you to consider this question: how would you like to be remembered? What are those 2 or 3 words that you are described as when someone walks away from you? What did they take away from your story and how you've been treating each other? What does that look like? A few simple things that I see Tiltons do every day that make a difference in my life and the life of my colleagues is how good you are to each other. I love that at the end of every class, each Tilton student sincerely says thank you to their teacher. That fills their cup up. Living with over 200 teenagers is quite a journey, and your love and appreciation for your teachers makes all the difference in the world to them. It is not for the faint of heart to live at a boarding school, and the people that live and lead here are committing their lives to you in your journey. I love that Tilton students love to have fun, and I look forward to having a ton of fun with you this year. It's one of the reasons that you saw this afternoon, how at school meeting we have our students leading from the front. That is important, that your voice and your input is at the forefront of your Tilton experience. When I first started working at Tilton, I was 27 years old. I was really nervous and only had 1 gray hair, which I placed on top of my head so that people would think that I was older than I was. I had 2 children in tow. One was 1.5 and the other one was 5. And as I was starting my next chapter at Tilton, it was really important to me that I found people that I could connect with. Now when I see the Goodwins and the Vayer family and other families with their little children on campus, I'm reminded of the happiest times when I would see Mr. Johnson, our Convocation speaker, in the dining hall with us. See, Mr. Johnson was our Dean of Students, and he's going to be our Convocation speaker tonight. When I first met Mr. Johnson, he was our new Dean of Students. I had 1 year under my belt as the new admissions director, and I was standing in Mrs. Landrosh's office, and she said, "Who's that guy?" And I said, "That's our new Dean of Students." And she said, "Oh my goodness," because Mr. Johnson was wearing a tie-dye fish concert t-shirt as he was coming into the building. And I was like, yes, this is awesome. He too was with his wife Sharon, starting their family, and I was able to see their family begin their life here on the Hill. One of the biggest lessons that Rick and Sharon taught me was their commitment to this community. One of the things I really appreciated about working with Mr. Johnson was his flair to embrace his ADD and his unapologetic ADD on fire most days that was just contagious to the student and our colleagues. He embraced it as his superpower, and no one would ever imagine that they weren't completely in the forefront of his mind. He deeply loved everything Tilton, and he committed to really embracing the values that we value today of personal responsibility, trust, and respect within our Tilton community. So I'm so happy that he and his wife and children are back here on the Hill tonight to share their own story with you on this very evening. So let's give a warm Tilton welcome to Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, and good evening all. Thank you for inviting me. The last time I stood here, I was the dean, and I think I was saying goodbye. And there's an old saying that you can never come home again. And thank you so much, Ms. Saunders, and thank you, community, for making that an absolute lie. It's nice to come home again. I look at my wife and my children sitting here right now and think, the day I moved onto this campus, it was July 1 of 2005, and my wife was just about 8 months pregnant with my son Nathaniel, and we were just waiting to get going. Not too long after that, Elizabeth was born, and this place will always be a home for me, and I hope that it will always be a home for you as well. So for the first 13 years or so of my life, I can assure you that I had no idea what a convocation was, is, or should be. It was not until about 1987, yes, way back then, and if you can't imagine what that was, think the TV show The Goldbergs. It was just like that. I was about to start my freshman year as a day student at a boarding school in Wallingford, Connecticut, when I learned of this convocation thing. I had grown up about a mile from Choate Rosemary Hall, but when I applied to the school, I knew little about it. I just knew it was some fancy school where people came from far away. My parents were eager for me to attend and have a better educational opportunity. I was eager to use the gym, to get out in the football field, and to go to the cafeteria, or dining hall as they called it, and where I could eat as much food as I wanted. I was not your stereotypical independent school kid, if there is such a thing, but at the time I know I felt that I was really different than others that would be attending my new school. And to start this new adventure, I had to go to this convocation. So come to find out, the same evening that I was supposed to go to convocation, the youth football league that I had played in since I was in 4th grade was honoring my grandfather with a special banquet for his years of coaching on the very same night. Where should I go? Convocation? Grandpa. For me, the choice was easy. Grandpa. But my parents called the school to find out which event they thought I should attend. Partly because I don't think my parents really knew what this whole convocation thing was either. And the woman from the dean's office assured me, oh, go to convocation. It's very, very important. Rick will not want to miss it. So my parents arranged for a neighbor to drop me off at convocation because they would be at Gramps. At the time, I had never really gotten very dressed up for anything, except I think I might have rented a tuxedo for my aunt's wedding. So as I prepared for convocation, I was both nervous and excited about the formal dress that I had to wear. Just before the school year started, I went out and I got what I thought was a killer formal outfit. I had a cream-colored blazer with this pink fabric tie that was square at the bottom, and I thought I looked kind of like a pudgy version of Miami Vice, which again, I know it might be a little bit dated, but I think they did a reboot, so I thought I was looking pretty cool. As I arrived at the gathering area, however, I soon realized that at that school, formal dress meant blue blazer and khakis. I felt like there was a spotlight on me, as I was the only boy not wearing a blue blazer, khakis, and a regular tie with some stripes or something. It seems that Miami Vice might have been cool on South Beach, but it was not cool at all at my convocation. After we marched around a little bit with some signs, we went into the theater and convocation began. At my school, for convocation, teachers wore gowns like they wear when you graduate from college. Here at Tilton, the faculty wear those at graduation, and now I've come to understand that that's called academic regalia. But even though this was long before Harry Potter, when I sat there at convocation and I saw the faculty wearing these robes and some of them had these crazy hats on, I realized that I might be a mile from my house, but I'm about 1,000,000 miles away from what I knew school to be. So I guess some people spoke, and whether it's because I was self-conscious about my fashion choice or if it was just plain old boring, I don't know, but I could not understand why this convocation was supposed to be so important. When it was all over, I went home, and I was certain that I would rather have gone to Grandpa's event. But by the time I was a senior, I came to love Convocation. We'd gather back, we'd see our friends that we hadn't seen forever. Again, as you guys, as seniors, you sit here and start to realize all the memories that you've made. Convocation is a great event, and I understood that it was the formal start of an academic year, just like its counterpart, graduation, is the formal end. If it's done well, Convocation can even set a tone for the year to come. Well, I'm not sure that I can set a tone, but I have had a conversation with Ms. Saunders about her aspirations for the year to come at Tilton. And she shared with me the importance of authenticity and the way that your community will explore ways that you can be Tilton true. So it got me to thinking about these ideas, and I have 3 things that I'd like to share with you this evening. Now, I know there are 3 kids at least in this audience who know me. They went to the school that I'm the head of. And so Willow, Max, and Morgan, you guys know that I like to talk a lot, but I promise you I'm going to be focused and I'm going to keep this thing going so that we'll be able to get to dinner. So being true to oneself and being authentic can make one feel uncomfortable. You have all come from places near and far, and today are asked to come together as a cohesive community. There are, however, 1,000,001 things that each of you hold as unique to yourselves, and it can be scary to reveal even small things about yourself, as you might feel that you're being judged, like the clothes you chose to wear or the posters that you put up on the wall in your dorm. So many of you are on social media, and you no doubt curate very carefully your Instagram and Snapchat stories, pages, captions, even the comments. Probably think 3 or 4 times, is this good? Is this right? Should I put this one? All right. Oh yeah, that one hits. All right, I'll put that. All right? But you are about to embark on something deeper here at Tilton. Your roommate, your community, they are not only going to see you through the filter that you choose. They will see you at 2 o'clock in the morning when you wake up with an upset stomach. They're going to see you at 6:30 a.m. when you're in the gym and you're sweating. They're going to see you at 4:45 on a random February afternoon when you're just plain tired. You can't curate that. And before that time comes, I encourage you to trust the community and to be your authentic and true self. So I'm going to tell you a little story that might sound a little bit trite, but I remember very clearly a moment that I had right here in this chapel when I had a chance to be true to myself in front of the whole community. And at the time, it made me incredibly nervous. Like Ms. Saunders was talking about, we both were a little bit young at the time for the positions that we held. And I was, coming in as the new dean of students. And so I wanted to connect with the students. I wanted them to trust in me, and I really wanted to get off on the right foot. So the year was 2005, and at the time, the Red Sox and Yankees rivalry was incredibly hot, especially because in 2004, the Sox finally broke the curse of the Bambino. So as the new dean, I organized a special showing of the Yankees-Red Sox game that night that was going to be in the Mark. I don't know, you guys still have the Mark here? Right, so I ordered up food, and I figured this is going to be great. So, they're worried, about that I'm going to get them in trouble for something. I'm like, no, I'm the good guy, dean. I'm going to get food for you guys, baseball game. We're going to have a blast. Well, I'm standing here at this very same lectern, and I'm getting kids psyched. Yeah, tonight, go over to the Mark. It's going to be awesome. And right about where that projector is, right in that area. What's your name? Jack. Right, Jack? Yeah. Right where Jack's sitting was where our head of school happened to be sitting. Those of you, I think he spoke at Convocation last year, right, Mr. Clements? So Jim Clements was the head of school, and he was always, he was a sly guy. He could never figure everything that was going on in his head. And I don't know what he knew, but he sat there, and he stood up where Jack was, and he looks up and he goes, well, Mr. Johnson, who do you think will win? In a split second, I thought, okay, how do you answer this? You are a lifelong Yankee fan. The chapel is filled with Red Sox fans. You want them to like you. You want them to accept you to the community. What do you say? My temperature started to, I can't tell you, I was like red. I actually can feel it right now. Same feeling. I was like tingling. I was like, it was a split second, but it could have been a million years. And so at first I was like, do you take the cheesy way out and just give some answer? And I'd go, the greatest team in baseball. And I paused and I said, nope, do it. The New York Yankees. The boos that rained down on me, I think that it's possible that things might have been thrown at me too. It was like, again, life and times have changed a little bit. The Sox have won some World Series. The Yanks haven't won one in a while. But I'm telling you, in 2005, this was no joke. And when I said that, I was thinking like, are you ready to do this? Are you going to say this in front of everyone? They're going to hate you. And you know what? In that moment of authenticity and honesty, for a second there, I was a little bit worried. You know what? It never mattered. It never mattered a lick. It just became a part of who I was. And everyone accepted that that's just a part of who I was here at the Tilton School. There would be some good-natured ribbing, things like that. But I wasn't blackballed. I wasn't kicked out. I was actually dean of students for, 7 years? I chose to leave. I wasn't run out of here with on a stick or anything. So I encourage you, be authentic, right? It can feel a little uncomfortable, but it's worth it. This leads me to my second thought on authenticity. Being authentic should never close one off to new things or new ideas. You are so lucky to be at the Tilton School. Legit, this is an incredible place. You have faculty that have experiences that you can't even begin to know. Get to know them, find out. You have classmates that have stories that are amazing. Get to know them, right? So they have so much to share. And it seems to me that a big part about being true to oneself, being authentic, is about being open to new experiences and learning from others. Well, not all of you play hockey here at Tilton. I know you do now, thank you, right? Regardless of the sport you play, I hope that you all have enjoyed the film Miracle. My favorite scene in that movie is when Herbie Brooks, somewhat maniacally, finally breaks the team down. And he gets the players to see themselves as playing on the same team, rather than coming from different college teams. When the players that formerly viewed themselves as a Boston guy or a Minnesota guy come to see themselves as connected to something larger, the team becomes something special, and they're more than just a collection of hockey players. Here at Tilton, you have that opportunity. You can transcend the ordinary. No longer seeing yourself as that kid from Methuen, or Tilton, or Concord, or Florida, or Korea, or LA, right? Wherever it is that you might come from, you are now here. You are now a part of the Tilton community. And if you see yourself as that, sharing experiences, trying something new, respecting the similarities and the differences of those in your community, then it seems to me that you are really being Tilton true. Not narrowly stuck as who or what you thought you were, but open to who and what you can become. Now, along the way, don't compromise your moral compass, because there will be opportunities to have experiences that you are going to want to avoid. But authenticity does not have to be static. Finally, if you have the courage to share your true thoughts, even if it makes you uncomfortable, and are open to becoming a part of this community and experiencing new things, you will find that the real you will grow and change. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to go from being a Red Sox fan to a Yankee fan, but your tastes may change. Your understanding of the world will be challenged, and you will grow. This year, please embrace the idea of being Tilton true and have the courage to share your authentic self, Be open to the diversity of ideas, cultures, and beliefs that form the Tilton community, and allow yourself the freedom to change. I believe that the school always has hoped that you will develop a spirit of courage, curiosity, and growth, and that what you experience here at Tilton will become a part of you for the rest of your life. And then, no longer will you just be Tilton true, you will forever be Tilton true. Thank you very much. I hope you guys have a great year.
Mr. Johnson, thank you very much. And welcome to the rest of your family. It's so good to have you back. Rick, you've encouraged me to keep searching for what is true in me, to be open to the new, and to muster the courage to share with my students and colleagues what I discover. Thank you for that reminder. So as we finish tonight, I'm going to ask you to activate your imagination. All right, so get ready. If you want to, you can close your eyes, but you don't need to. I want you to put yourself in a place on campus. One place where you know you'll be there a lot, like every day, maybe several times a day. Put yourself in that place. And imagine yourself there, now, looking around. What do you see? Find one thing to focus your attention. I'm asking you to do that because I'd like you to use that one thing. This could be anywhere. It could be you looking at yourself with a face full of shaving cream in the mirror. That place, it could be that place. It could be you standing in an admissions circle. It could be that place and looking at the facade, the front of Plimpton Hall, or turning to your left and looking this way, across the hedges, across the street, beyond the lawn, and to the front of this building, this beautiful, beautiful building we're gathered in tonight. It could be there. Any place, the gym, the rink, as you step into that rink. And the lights go on just before you open the door in where the ice is, just at that spot. It could be that place. Choose a place. You're choosing that place because you're going to use it this year. You're going to use it to remind yourself every time you're there, every time you see this place, you're going to remind yourself to be open to the new, to search for an answer to the question, who am I becoming? And to have the courage to match that search with your words and your deeds. For me, that place, I know where that place is. I walk out at my door on my porch on Dean Jeffries Lane every morning. I open the door, it squeaks, I hear the squeak. It's been squeaking for about 15 years. I haven't fixed it yet. I hear it, I hear my foot fall onto the porch, and then I scan the expanse of this campus. From the maintenance building all around to the rink, to this building. I can see a lot of the campus, and to my right. But finally, my eyes will begin to scale knolls, and they will continue to scale knolls up through the scaffolding that's now there to the top of the clock tower. That's going to be my place. That's going to be where I remind myself to be true, to seek, to discover more about whom I'm becoming and what this place is becoming. And then to have the courage each day to share with folks around me This is what I'm learning. This is what I'm discovering. I challenge you to do that this year. To find your place where you can be, where you can remind yourself every day to be forever Tilton true. Thank you.